they don't want to be in the news. They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Why not?
I don't know, but I suspect it's probably because it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it. All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians. You can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people. I work for a company called BlackRock.
Meet Serge Varley, a recruiter at BlackRock.
Let me tell you, it's not through who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet. So it's
And who's that?
The hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys run campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates. And obviously, we have the system in place. First, there's the senators, and these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. I can give you 500K right now. No questions asked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. We're done.
Does like everybody do that? Does BlackRock do that?
It doesn't matter who wins.
You're still right.
They're in my pocket at this point.
Here's Serge Varley on how good war is for BlackRock's business.
Do you have any thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Yeah, I mean, I do have thoughts.
What are they?
Ukraine is good for business. You know that, right? I'll give an example. Russia blows up Ukraine's grain silos. Price of wheat's gonna go mad up. Ukrainian economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. Prices of bread, literally everything it goes up and down. This is fantastic if you're trading. Volatility creates opportunity to make profit. War is real good for business. It's exciting when goes wrong, right? BlackRock manages 20 trillion. It's incomprehensible numbers.
BlackRock Serge Varley says all of this is above a normal person's understanding.
You're like an undercover reporter. I don't know. No people don't give a shit. This is beyond them. The whole thing of like domination from a concept is just so interesting.
I hope you guys enjoyed that clip. I'm going to put the rest of it, the full clip, at the end of my video. I'll leave timestamps below so you can check it out. So BlackRock, right? They own everything. Biggest company in the world. What is it? $10 trillion they hold? Unreal. But we have to be careful, right? They're applying for this Bitcoin ETF, and yeah, they're going to create some waves here. So there's going to be a lot of volatility. So as we check out the gold ETF, as we can see just before that, it kind of peaked, went down, and at the launch peaked again, and then it took a little time. There was, I guess, a consolidation, accumulation, and then it just took off, right? We're going to have to wait. It's going to take its course. This Bitcoin ETF is not going to be approved relatively anytime soon. It could take like 6 months. Okay, so we got time. Expect volatility, and that's what these traders and entities and corporations love, because they make money off of volatility. At the same time, we have to realize these companies are hypocrites, right? BlackRock especially, they impose ESG, which is like anybody that wants to do business with them, countries, governments, businesses, they have to have a good ESG score, which means they have to be pretty much woke, and they have to be pretty much geared for climate change. They have to be doing their part, per se. So, but yet, we see these banks, institutions, they all make money off of war, right? So BlackRock is no better. They make money off of trading. They make money off of stocks. And it is mentioned in the clip a little bit. Now, I know the guy in the clip is not no high-ranking official of BlackRock, but it's pretty much common sense, right? Companies, institutions that make money, they love volatility. So we have to be careful here. Don't give all your faith into these institutions, these corrupt government officials. You have to do our part. Vote Robert F. Kennedy Jr., vote in Canada Pierre Poilievre, whatever his name is, I can never pronounce that, for Prime Minister. Justin Trudeau is corrupt. Biden is corrupt. The Clintons are corrupt. These are all sick career criminals. So now that that's done, got the BlackRock news out of the way and what they are basically, we're going to talk about what the next phase of the crypto adoption should be. It appears to be scalability, right? So what's going on in the world of scalability? But first, let's talk about Kucoin. Kucoin, crypto exchange, to introduce mandatory ID checks next month. So anybody using Kucoin out there, July 15th, new customers will be required to complete identification checks to use Kucoin services. So if you already joined up, I'll leave a link in the description and you'll see how this affects you going forward. Kucoin, pretty big exchange, pretty reliable. I use them and they're pretty good. So scalability is going to be the next phase, right? We're going to talk about two coins here. Two altcoins that have just been surging. Stellar, up 9% to lead altcoin growth. Here's reason. And it's doing pretty good, these two coins, considering Bitcoin's kind of gone stagnant now for a few days. So as the broader digital currency ecosystem makes an attempt to wriggle out of its bear zone, Stellar has grown to become the apparent top performer relative to other altcoins. The cryptocurrency is changing hands at a spot price of 10 cents, up by 9.7% over the past 24 hours. Stellar's bullish momentum has gained steadily over the past week, joining the best performers with week to date growth of 22%. So what's new on Stellar? The same thing that happened in the last video I put out with another coin, KASPA, which we're going to look at in a second. Scalability. The push into a more scalable ecosystem remains one of its core focuses in the short term, as shared on Twitter by one of the protocol's core developers, Timer Weller. Developers can now make sense of the new overlay protocol that allows Stellar to scale significantly and enable efficient Soroban smart contract invocations, whatever that means, right? But scalability, I understand. That's a good thing. Stellar was developed in 2014 as an efficient peer-to-peer decentralized payment network, and thus far, it has become one of the dominant protocols in the niche. Despite its strategic growth and integrations across the board, the need to scale remains one of the dynamic challenges for the protocol, as much as it is for most Layer 1 blockchain networks. Yeah, like Ethereum. They can't do it, man. Their fees are ridiculous. And Cardano, they already have a solution. We're going to talk about that in a second. Per the reference update from the Stellar protocol, the scalability push hinges on a proposed change to transaction submission. So blockchain scalability need to get it right, which Cardano has, right? They've been condemned for being slow, but if the goal is to be efficient and secure and instantaneous, right? Cardano has almost pretty much achieved that. So despite the revolutionary ideology of most blockchain protocols, the push towards scalability remains a crucial bane for most around, including Ethereum and Cardano. Over the years, both protocols have made significant efforts to enhance scalability on their respective chains and has thus led to the emergence of Layer 2 scaling solutions like Arbitrum, Polygon, ZK EVM, and Optimism, among others. And Cardano is developing the Hydra head, which will work in an offline mode to boost the transactions per second, such has never been recorded in the industry. Do you hear that? Cardano. Such has never been recorded in the industry. Hydra head is going to be phenomenal. There's talk of it being up to like 1 million transactions per second, right? But I think some people are saying no, some people are saying yes, but still, to get anywhere near that or anywhere even percentagely even close to that is a great thing. Getting scalability right is a prerequisite for blockchain systems to beat traditional financial service providers in the long term. You're damn right. Peer-to-peer, instantaneous, self-custodianship, that's what everybody wants, right? So scalability, Stellar up 9%. What else is going on with the scalability? KASPA. It recently has launched or upgraded its protocol. It was running at 1 block per second. Now 10 blocks per second. It just 10 times itself, people. Scalability is going to be the future of crypto. And things like KASPA, Cardano Hydra head, yeah, this is the way to go. KASPA is proof of work, by the way. Cardano is proof of stake. Proof of work is known to be more secure, but Cardano being the most decentralized proof of stake, which means it's pretty secure in itself. So let's take a look here at the graph. KASPA price shooting up like crazy. Let's check out, that's max. Let's check out the 90 days. What's it been doing in 90 days? Oh, so it's been going down. But on the release of 10 times, blocks per second, has been steadily going up, with the rest of the altcoins the past week actually outperforming them. So scalability, stellar. On Scalability news has risen. KASPA, out of nowhere, Scalability news has risen. So I think we pretty much know the next niche for crypto. If you can't scale, you're done. Sorry, Ethereum. Wow, wow, wow. All right, everybody, this is the Crypto Realm. Bit of a long one, bit of a rant here and there, but BlackRock, Volatility, Gold ETF, Bitcoin ETF, it's going to be a little time. It might take 6 months. There's going to be ups and downs. Take advantage where you can. This is not financial advice. You're still early, people. This is the Crypto Realm. Play hard, trade smart.
Hi, I'm James O'Keefe with OMG News. Here we are with our latest story, this time on BlackRock, one of the world's leading asset and investment managers, which owns significant shares of companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Anheuser-Busch, Meta, Target, Procter & Gamble, Comcast, CNN, Fox, and yes, Pfizer, just to name a few. At OMG, we do not shy away from exposing powerful companies, and we're not afraid of powerful people. So we decided to take a look for ourselves at the influence BlackRock has on our politics and the influence they have on our culture. So to do that, what better place to start a hidden camera investigation than into a self-described gatekeeper at BlackRock?
Like, you're kind of like a fucking gatekeeper at BlackRock.
Yeah, I am. I decide people's fates. Every fucking day, I literally decide how somebody's life is going to be shaped.
That's so powerful. I love it.
Yeah, it's I don't know, the whole thing of like domination from a concept is just, it's so interesting.
Introducing Serge Varley, whose LinkedIn says he's worked for Morgan Stanley, Citadel, and now as a recruiter at BlackRock.
I work for a company called BlackRock. I'm not actually a finance guy. I know what happens because I'm recruiting people who do these things. Mm-hmm. I'm the person who headhunts people from other firms. So I would approach you and be like, hey, this is a good reason why you should come work for us.
Serge tells us who really runs the world, how they do it, and just how much it costs to buy people, like politicians.
Let me tell you, it's not through who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet. So it's
And who's that?
the hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys run campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates.
How so?
All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians.
How do they run the world?
You acquire stuff. You diversify, you acquire, you keep acquiring, you spend whatever you make in acquiring more. And at a certain point, your risk level is super low. Like, imagine you've invested in like 10 different industries, from food to drinks to like technology, right? One of them fails, it doesn't matter. You have 9 others to back you up. Risk management is inherently in just about everything. And in the finance space, it's all about it's all about the money you make. You don't let it sit. You keep using it over and over, and it
Reinvest.
Yeah, and it exponential growth.
And then once you just own a little bit of everything, is that where the control?
Yeah, you own a little bit of everything, and that little bit of everything gives you so much money on a yearly basis that you can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people. And obviously, we have this system in place. First, there's the senators, and these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. It doesn't matter who wins.
You're still right.
They're in my pocket at this point. I can give you $500K right now, no questions asked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what needs to be done. They're like, yeah, of course.
And
why not?
does everybody do that? Does BlackRock do that?
The BlackRock recruiter also tells us about how the U.S. government relies on BlackRock for their economic simulation computational power.
Economic simulation. They need to understand the impact of something, right? They're gonna raise the interest rate, for example. Mm-hmm. It's gonna create this cascade of various factors that people aren't not sure what it's gonna do, basically.
And just how fucking great the Ukraine war is for business.
Do you have any thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Ukraine is good for business. You know that, right? We don't want the conflict to end.
Why?
We don't want the conflict to end as a country. The longer this goes on, the weaker Russia is. I'll give an example. Russia blows up Ukraine's grain silos. Price of wheat's gonna go mad up. So what are you gonna do if you're a trading firm? The moment that news hits, within a millisecond, you're gonna pump trades into whoever the wheat suppliers are, into their stocks. Within an hour or two, that stock goes up, and then you sell, and you just made, I don't know, however many mil.
Why would a news channel promote a side in war?
Because it's also good for business too. I mean, what's news? News, right? What does news feed on? They feed on strategy, they feed on up events. That's what people like to watch. So when it happens, it's good business. More viewers. When nothing's happening, watches news. I don't watch news.
They're all pushing like the same talking point. Like you generally, when you look at news, like
it's propaganda. Ukrainian economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. This is fantastic if you're trading. Volatility creates opportunity to make profit. War is real good for business. It's exciting when goes wrong, right?
Serge also speaks on BlackRock-influenced news and even gave our journalists some tips.
based on everything we know now, when they say to sell, does that mean we should buy?
And so, yeah. It's like, Jim Cramer? If you do exactly the opposite of what he's advising, you actually make money.
Huh?
Yeah. It's called the inverse Cramer. They don't want to be in the news. They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Why not?
I don't know, but I suspect it's probably because it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it.
And when Serge was asked about insider trading and if Larry Fink recently sold $100 million in BlackRock shares, here is what he said.
Larry Fink recently sold $100 million worth of BlackRock.
Wow. Damn, Larry, that's not a good sign. The people who trade and make money, they do this the moment the information is out. And that info is typically disseminated at private levels first before it hits the mainstream. If you want to invest smart, there's a tracker that tracks all politicians and where they have their stocks. Preemptively, if we think the stock price is going to tank, we're going to sell so that we sell it high, it tanks, and we buy back. And we didn't make, but we preserved a few mil.
But perhaps the most remarkable and profound comment by the BlackRock recruiter is the suggestion that nobody is going to care about what he is saying here or confessing here. Because as he says, quote, normal people don't give a shit.
You're like an undercover reporter.
Really? No, don't normal people worry about this stuff?
No, normal people don't give a shit. This is beyond them.
That these types of questions my reporter asked are beyond all of you. The answer is something that you, the people, the consumers, the shareholders, couldn't possibly understand. It's been said that it's easier to fool a man than to convince him he's been fooled. There is no question that many Americans are still asleep, who may not want to wake up from their necessary illusions. But we hope and believe by showing these tapes of this BlackRock gatekeeper speaking so plainly on so many topics that not only we wake up people, but also inspire others to come forward on institutions like BlackRock. Oh, and this is just part one. Stay tuned tomorrow for my meeting with Serge Varley. We also reached out for comment to BlackRock, and here's what they had to say.